Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for making time to join our Mirror 42 webinar. This is Paul Jenkins from PerformIT. Sorry for the delay. This session is one in a series of webinars regarding development of a single version of the truth and how focus on IT performance and transparency can lead to behavioral change and improvements in efficiency. If any of your colleagues were unable to make last week's session or today, please let me know and we can invite them to a future general session or indeed run a one-to-one session if that's your preference. Before I hand back to my colleague Carol van der Poel from Mirror 42, I wanted to give a brief introduction to PerformIT for those of you that don't know us. My name is Paul Jenkins. I'm co-founder and director of PerformIT. Our company is based in Bracknell and has focused since 1996 on working with IT organizations to deliver cost savings and service improvements via a combination of technologies, ITIL-based processes, and organizational change. If you hold that slide there, Carol, for me. We've worked with ServiceNow over the last 3 years and with Mirror 42 for over 6 years. Both these platforms are game-changing in our respect and have pretty much turned our business and our client base around over the last couple of years. Over the last 12 months or so, we've looked at how best to supplement the strong native operating report capability of ServiceNow with the Mirror 42 platform, largely to improve organizational and departmental performance through dashboards, scorecards, and analytics, which are helping our clients to define, measure, and improve key performance indicators. On the first of these, just the 2 slides that I'm going to put up today, this represents our view that in order to drive IT service management maturity, we need the typical combination of tools, processes, dashboards, and reports to take and manage requests from the organization, whether these are business as usual style activities or specific projects, and then deliver cost-effective services out to the business. The next slide, Carol. Thank you. This shows how this strategy comes together for us in a combination of ServiceNow and also branded complementary products from PerformIT. At the top end of this, we look to drive decision-making, service efficiencies, and ultimately operational behavior through a service management performance portal or CIO cockpit. And this is represented here as PerformIT, which is our branded configuration of Mirror 42 for ServiceNow. Certainly, if you need any information on our process framework, GovernIT, or our transformation methodology, TransformIT, please feel free to get in touch, and my contact details will be included in the follow-up information that will be sent to you after this session. That said, just to keep us on the timetable, let me hand back to Carol so we can get into the product. So, comms back to you, Carol.
Thank you, Paul. Very much welcome from my end as well. My name is Carl van der Poel. I am the founder of Mirror 42. We started in 2004 officially, and as Paul said, we've been partnering for 6 years now with partners in IT. First, predominantly on the HP platform, and in the last couple of years, obviously, we are very focused on ServiceNow. So what Mirror 42 is all about is about key performance indicators and measuring metrics. As you probably are aware of, that ServiceNow has a built-in reporting engine that allows you to build operational reports. But they are somewhat limited in doing trend analysis and advanced analytics when it comes to key performance indicators. And this is why we started partnering with ServiceNow, and it's also one of the reasons why ServiceNow is very warm welcome to us, to the partner community. In fact, we were one of the first partners to be certified by ServiceNow, and I'll tell you a little bit about the reasons for that. Since we really truly complement the ServiceNow native reporting stack and do not have a huge overlap, but really build on top of the native functionality, they kind of like us, and we start to talk about aligning roadmaps and so on. So maybe first start with a customer testimonial. I have 3 or 4 slides, and then we'll dive into a live demo. This is typically what we hope to see and expect to see when customers start working with our software. So key performance indicators is all about trying to influence future outcomes. So it's not reporting where the main topic was what has happened last month, looking back in a rearview mirror, but it's much more your navigation system towards where do you need to get to. So you want to drive cost out of your IT operations. You want to reduce the backlog and minimize productivity loss. Now, this is typically what we've seen with some of our customers as the moment that they implemented Mirror 42, which in this graph is being shown as Mirror 42 implemented, and they started becoming metrics driven and focus on the key leading indicators that really drive future compliancy with SLAs, for instance, we can see huge performance improvements. In this particular example, this customer saw a 60% decline in the number of open incidents just by focusing completely on the right set of metrics from day one. Now, what has contributed to that, which brings me to my next slide, is that one of the unique things that you'll see of Mirror 42 is that we run completely in the ServiceNow environment. So we're not a reporting stack that sits outside ServiceNow. No, we believe that the people who need to, who are responsible for really getting these performance improvements should be looking at the indicators day to day, should know exactly what is driving the performance and what where the improvements can be made. So we're very much for driving organizational behavior. Getting everybody on the same page and everybody metric focused is all about making them transparent for the large community, for the people that actually need to improve service delivery. And we believe it's a key precondition for success. The other thing is that by putting it inside ServiceNow, you make it actionable because you can immediately link a key performance indicator to the activities that people need to undertake from a day-to-day basis. If you put it in a separate system, people need to go back and forth, which makes it kind of harder to really turn information into actionable information. So a little bit about the 2 more slides. One slide about what is our architecture. So the most important takeaway from this is what we do is we do not replicate the ServiceNow database. And I'll repeat that. We do not replicate or the full ServiceNow database. So there's no security hazard involved. What we do is we generate the metrics that you would like to track outside of a ServiceNow, and we snapshot those metrics and store the key statistics, the scores, in the metrics database of Mirror 42, which sits in the cloud. So we maintain all the metrics. Now, what we actually store are just huge string of numbers without any context. If you don't know what it is, could be paper clips in the drawer, could be the weather forecast, but in fact, they're all statistics that come out of ServiceNow. But we do not copy, caller information. We do not copy the details of your incidents, the details of the changes you're planning to implement. So from a security perspective, it's definitely very safe. Now, the system then generates scorecards for each metric, allowing you to see the evolution in time. How are metrics behaving over time? Where were we? Where are we? Where do we need to get to? So the trend analytics, goes very advanced. You can do all kinds of filter out the weekends, etc. We'll see that in a second. Obviously, you can set targets and you can implement thresholds and alerting. The scorecards and the dashboards are rendered inside ServiceNow. We also have our own UI, which you can use as well, but most of our customers obviously deploy these dashboards inside ServiceNow. Dashboards can be any type of visualization. I'll show you the visualization techniques that we have available. And the solution comes with a set of best practices as part of the GovernIT solution that Partners in IT has developed. So The dashboards and the scorecards available directly in the ServiceNow interface. And the other thing that we believe is a very important interface for transparency is the smartphone. Before you hit the office, your employees and anybody who's working on IT service provisioning can already take a look at the status of the most important metrics and indicators. They can star their own favorites, they can look at the key indicators of the business as defined by management, and they're fully up to speed every day, completely up and running. So I already said we really complement ServiceNow. So what we do is we take the operational reporting and the ad hoc reporting capability of ServiceNow. We build on top of that with the dashboards, the KPI dashboards and the trends. And when you actually need to tie back the KPI score with the underlying metrics, we simply launch back into ServiceNow and show you the underlying records. And I'll show you that in a second as well. So we really see ServiceNow as reporting engine. We're doing the time series, the time snapping, the KPIs, the trending, the forecasting, building predictive indicators, and then you can set exception reporting with top-level key performance indicators and targets and thresholds to really drive your performance improvement programs. So let's dive into a quick demo. And so what you see here is a typical ServiceNow interface where we need to log in. And I'll use two demo users for this particular demo. First, I'll log in as Fred Luddy. Fred Luddy has, as most of you or maybe are aware, Fred Luddy is the founder of ServiceNow, and we use him as a demo user. What you see here is that in ServiceNow, this user is not an admin, but has full functionality over all the major ITSM processes, such as service desk, incident. Now, you can immediately see that we've got the Mirror42 KPI dashboards and scorecards installed. So Mirror42 is an app that sits inside ServiceNow. So it's not something that lives outside, it really sits inside ServiceNow. And you can select dashboards, and we'll touch upon that a little bit further, but first let's take a look at scorecards. Now, scorecards are being generated for you automatically for each metric and indicator and key performance indicator that you're measuring inside Mirror42. The company can promote certain indicators as being key indicators, the most important ones for the company. And I've made that pre-filter over here. Key indicators could be the percentage of incidents closed by a first assignment group or the percentage of new critical incidents. As you will see is you can see full history here in what we call a spark line, and the green line that you see there represents your target, where you want to go. So the percentage of incidents closed in time, you can clearly see an upward trend. We actually were above target for a little while, and performance seems to be slipping a little bit in the last couple of days. We currently are at 79.4%, and with the color coding you can see that this is below target, and we've also dropped performance with minus 7.4%, and the minus indicates the red dot. So this is the information that you get at a glance immediately. Now if I zoom a little bit further, you can have multiple pages, but I can also have my personal favorites. Note the little yellow star. Each person that has access to these dashboards can star their favorite indicators. So those are my favorite ones, the ones that I need to take a look at on a daily basis. I kind of subscribe to, like what you do with Twitter with followers. You follow these key performance indicators. Now, we also have predefined filters. What are the best performing indicators of the company? The worst performing indicators, the one that are really slipping away from us or have improved a lot in the last couple of days. So, but let's go back to the start indicators. Each indicator, as we've seen, can have a color coding depending on their target, and you can immediately see the trend. But there's more. When you click on the indicator, it will open up what we call a detailed scorecard. And in that detailed scorecard, any end user can change the way they would like to take a look at the data. So for instance, Let's zoom in on the last month for the open incidents, turn it into a bar chart, drawing the trend line. Well, maybe that doesn't give us that much information, so we'll switch it off again. But then, drawing the target line, which is the red dotted line over here. And I can do more. I can also switch from a daily view, for instance, to a 7 days running average view, because I would like to extrapolate the weekends from the trend, giving me a much better real trend on what's going on with the backlog. I can do even more. These built-in functions, the analytical functions, are built into the platform, so that comes for free. There's nothing to code, nothing to program. You just apply them and you can start using them. I can also zoom in even further on my breakdowns. There we go. Yeah, there they are. So for instance, I would like to analyze my open incidents by my assignment groups and see the trend for the end user computing group, and note I'm still looking at a 7 days running average. So we've now applied the analytical filter over the trend by looking at the open incidents broken down by the assignment group. And I can continue to drill in there and so on and so on. At any point, I can simply save it as PDF or print it. And if I go back to my main chart, I can also export all the underlying data to Excel by choosing what we call the table view. There we go. So in the table view, you have all the raw data and you can download it to an Excel file. I can also obviously copy and paste the chart directly to PowerPoint if you would like to do that. So that's kind of like the basic functionality that comes by default out of the system. Now, dashboards are visualizations over the same information. And dashboards, we've predefined some dashboards for almost any business process. Let's take a look at the incident management dashboard, for example. But as you can see, incident, request, problem change, they're all there. Incident management dashboard shows you the key metrics for incident management. Very operational ones, daily view on open incidents, new, closed, and the backlog evolution or development. We also have some kind, you can do things like a maturity index or a process index for the process itself, where you actually apply weights against all the indicators to roll it up into an overall maturity index for the process. Those functions and formulas can be easily built in. Now let's go back to the overview page, and we have obviously different visualization techniques for the different metrics. At any point in the graph, again, you can click on an incident and it will open up the scorecard, the underlying scorecard again. So now if we would like to zoom back in to the underlying data that really sits below this particular open incident chart, I can also link back to ServiceNow. From the details screen, hopefully, we have what we call smart links. Now, for instance, if I see that we're below target for this particular backlog, open incidents, the color coding is red, we're below target. Our target is 225 open incidents maximum, and we're at 261. So one strong indicator would be to start looking at the incidents that have not been updated in the last 30 days. And if I click on that, it will open up ServiceNow again, and it will show me the underlying metrics behind this, what we call a smart link. Now, by building these smart links into the system, you can have direct actionable lists for your employees to work on that really start influencing the outcomes of the key performance indicators in the future. So, and this makes information very actionable. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll show you the example visualizations that we have. There are many ways to visualize data in dashboards. We have bar charts, the loss score chart, as we call it. Obviously, there are gauges. Let's see. How do you do this? Just blow it up a little. Yeah, like this. Compare charts, area charts, Pareto charts, pie charts, stack bars, bars and totals, line charts, multiple lines. So there are many different ways to visualize data. What I'm not going to show you in this particular session because of the time is how we actually change the data and create the dashboards. It's all click and paste and drag and drop. And there are some videos about that we can distribute, so you can take a look at that. And we're happy to go over that in a one-on-one session. But there's no coding involved in creating the dashboards. Now, let's get the ServiceNow menu back in. One more last thing that I would like to show you is also our mobile dashboards. And like I said, all this information, the scorecard information, the ability to drill down and to really look at the underlying trends, to apply what we call aggregates and sums and averages for trend analysis, and to zoom in on, for instance, an assignment group, is all available in your mobile. So the mobile will have the first menu will be your start, your favorite indicators that you'd be interested in, and then we have scorecards and all the other information. So everything is available on the mobile. Now, these dashboards are not only deployed inside ServiceNow, they are also role-based. And the solution uses the roles of ServiceNow. So when I log out and I log in again, this time as a different user, you will see that the menu has dramatically changed. So the first thing that you'll see is that I no longer have access to scorecards, because this particular user is not entitled to see all the metrics, but he's only interested, or he can only see a certain set of predefined dashboards that we have shared with him. Now, from the dashboards, you will also see that this person does not have access to all the dashboards. So this user is restricted to only see the incident and the change management dashboard. There's also a dashboard by assignment group, which I haven't shown you yet, but you can set up what we call breakdown dashboards. Very handy tool being applied to your workgroup managers. And what the breakdown dashboards do is you select the assignment group in this example that you are interested in, and it will show you all the relevant key performance indicators and metrics for that particular assignment group. Now, in this particular example, I have limited the capabilities for this user to only 2 of the assignment groups, because he's only entitled to analyze these 2 assignment groups. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is that it's not only actionable, but we can also build in all the authorization, data restrictions that you have inside your organization, and we can deploy it using ServiceNow roles. So there's no need to set up a different set of user management and apply those rules. We can literally build roles in ServiceNow and apply those roles with the corresponding dashboards in Mirror 42, and it renders safely and securely. So that's it for now. So I'll switch back to the presentation, and if there are any, if there are any questions, let's open up the line for some questions. And while I do that, hold on a second. I'll try to unmute the lines. I'm not sure. Oh, we have too many attendees on the call to open up the line, so probably to prevent feedback, which is good news. So thank you all for joining. If there are any questions, you can use the chat function in the GoToMeeting. It's the last option in the menu. If you type your question there, then we'll pick it up, and either Paul or myself will answer it. I have two questions. One, if there is a list of a consolidated list of key performance indicators available. Yes, there is, and we can easily share that with you. The standard out-of-the-box metrics that are there. There are approximately 50 there in the standard pack, and obviously, if you have customized ServiceNow, we'll probably need to make some adjustments and to the key performance indicator set, but we can definitely share that with you. There's another question about how the metrics are defined and if it is completely available. Yes, it is. So we have two types of metrics or key performance indicators, and I'll explain briefly how it works. The base metrics are being collected from ServiceNow. Now, what I mean with a base metric is, for instance, the open incidents broken down by how long they are open, or open incidents broken down by priority. Now, if you have that information, you can create a formula in the system, in our system, so you don't have to query it again from ServiceNow, that, for instance, expresses that into a percentage. For instance, the percentage of incidents that have older than 30 days, or the percentage of incidents classified as high priority. So those are formulas that you do in our system, so they don't have any impact on ServiceNow, and that the way that formula is being calculated is available from the scorecard. So when you open up a scorecard, you go to the details view, you will also have access to exactly the formula on how a key performance indicator is being calculated. You can also use the description field to provide more details about the key performance indicator and share that with the end users. Any other questions? In that case, I would like to thank you very much. Paul, I've unmuted you. If you want to have any closing remarks for this session?
If I could just thank you all for your time and interest, and just explain that I'll contact you over the next few days to determine what other information would be helpful at this stage. Of course, if you've got any questions that need quicker consideration, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'll email out my contact details to you all later this afternoon with a copy of the few slides that we used to introduce the demo. But certainly, if there is any information that's required a bit more quickly, myself and Carol will be at hand. We will be running similar sessions throughout the course of the next few months. There'll be a slight theme to some of those, and hopefully if yourself and colleagues do want to attend, we'll see you again over the next couple of months. But thank you all again, and thank you, Carol.
You're welcome, Paul. Thank you. Thank you all for attending, and like Paul said, we hope to have one-on-one sessions with you all soon if you have any more questions. Thank you.